Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the June 11, 2025 meeting? Want to move, do I hear a second? Second. All right, moved in second, do I hear a acceptance? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, guys, you're here for your civics class. Yeah. You can maybe just introduce ourselves quick and then give you a quick rundown of what we do. Kevin.
I'm Kevin Wright, a member of the commission. Bill Dunn, member of the commission. Bill Figueroa, member of the commission.
Jim Foot.
And the chairman. And the chairman.
Okay, good.
I'm Mark Petorsky, I'm the superintendent for the plant you guys name it.
Well, you guys, Sean, but we can push it. What brings you guys in here?
Other class, you're supposed to go to one town meeting, so they probably do it, so you just come to this one.
Why did you do this one?
It kind of landed in their schedule, so.
Fair enough.
So you guys in school this summer month or not, the month of July?
It's like the summer course, setting the credits, so that's right.
Do you guys know anything about the plant or just drive by it?
Yeah, I mean, you just drive by it.
Yeah. All right, that's the answer most people have, so. We're gonna go through some of the stuff. If you have any questions, you can ask us, but essentially. The plant will treat 3 to 6 million gallons a day regularly. We go up to about 20 million gallons a day if we have big storms. So that's anything that comes in through the sewer. We have 17 pump stations from the West Farms Mall, the Yukon, to all the way to almost Burlington, Simsbury, Avon, which is a regional plant. We do a couple of different towns. Almost 200 miles of sewer, which we're also in charge of. So in addition to everything you see around here, all the tanks, there's the 17 pump stations and everything around town as well. So everything comes here, we treat it, and the water going out is cleaner than the Farmington River itself. So pretty clean.
You joke about, most people that live in town, they use the term flush it and forget it. In other words, at your home, when you use the shower, the bathroom, and whatever, use the water, dirty water, and come through a series of pipes, and then it'll either go to a pumping station to get it from a lower elevation to higher elevation. And then once it reaches the plant, we have different processes that help clean the water. And then once the water is clean, you discharge it back into the river. And that's the bulk of it. So, as far as your visit, is it the structure of the meeting, or is it the operation of the plant that you're most interested in?
I think it's the structure, yeah, for our class, it's more like the structure.
Government portion of it, right?
No. So you heard us, we had meetings from last month and the food and minutes of the meeting. And so we start the schedule, and after that, we have a report of the monthly operating report, summary for June, last June.
So if you guys have any questions, I'll go through it, let me know. Our average flow was 3.6 million. Max flow was 8.2 million gallons, that's per day. Removal efficiencies of BOD, which is biochemical oxygen demand, and suspended solids were 97.6%, 98% removal. Effluent ammonia was 0.68. We were under our nitrogen permit by 34 pounds.
Excuse me, Mike.
Go ahead.
I wonder if copy of Jimmy.
I can make one of this. Yeah, I'm sure I do.
Okay, sure.
So that's do you want one or do you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, good, right.
Oh, you know what? Actually, let me copy that one. Copy this one because I have writing on mine. You okay?
Well, what else you guys doing for the summer?
Just like a volunteer.
Which one?
The hospital for special care.
When you ready?
Yeah, I should go there too. So, I think I'll start going to I forgot the full form, but it's called HOCC.
Can you help out?
That's person.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. What do you do for the summer?
it's volunteering at UConn.
Well, actually, one thing, if you can get your names written down in there. Okay. What you're gonna need. You need anything else besides their name, Mark?
Oh,
I got
yeah,
it already, I got it.
Yep. Like, got them coming in. That's what I can put in minutes.
You're good.
I was like phosphorus, I think. Yeah, so we're 34 pounds under the nitrogen permit, and we're under the phosphorus permit by about 20 pounds. Essentially, the two big things here are nitrogen and phosphorus, I think fertilizer and stuff, so we removed a lot of that here.
Give me some.
Go ahead.
This report here goes to the state of Connecticut. And you have to perform the various tests on, different intervals. And then submit it to the state for their record and, see if there's any, kind of. They go over the acceptable limit, so it's sort of a reporting tool. And the phosphorus and the different nitrogen, those. They come into the plant and then we have to. Process them through the plant and then discharge them. In some regards, we have to, meet the criteria. So that's what that report's about. And what goes in, gets cleaned up and goes out.
Yeah, we try to do a snapshot, because we went through the full permit with a meeting and you guys sitting here, you probably fall asleep, so the permit's like 70 pages, it's huge. So this kind of goes over the important ones. Biosolids are just any solids we take out of the water, they actually get settled. We add polymer to coagulate and then it gets sent to Hartford and they're burned in Hartford. E. coli going into the river was 2.93. So everybody asks us how clean the water is going out. I can almost guarantee you if you took an E. coli in the river, it wouldn't be 2.9. So the water here is extremely clean going out.
Okay, anything else, any questions on that? And if you guys have any questions, anytime you speak up. Okay. All right, and we got the, project engineer report, dated June 2025.
And this is basically just kind of another snapshot of important things we did in the pump stations, in the collection system and the plant. Patrick Flood is one of our pump stations. June 3rd, the electrician operators replaced the pressure transducer at the station. That basically just levels it gets your level in the wet well, so we have pressure transducer, an ultrasonic, and a float backup, so there's 3 fail safes. June 16th, we also replaced the soft start for pump number 3. We had one in stock and we ordered a second one for a critical spare. Batterson Park pump station, we replaced the RTU battery, that's just for remote telemetry communications. Maple Ridge pump station, we replaced and pulled pump 2. We sent one out to be repaired, it's a small pump station, so we're currently running 1 pump, but we do have a spare motor if we need it. And we're rebuilding the other one for a spare. Tungus pump station, we received a fault on pump 1. It was discovered the pump was running on high amps and was back flush. After resetting it, it ran without incident. We didn't see many rags or debris in there, so we're hoping it's nothing that's sitting in the wet well because we cleaned it. I believe it was last fall already. Pump station upgrades and collection systems. The splash pad valve pit is finished. So if you guys remember, we did the motor operated valves. So these are your 2 MOVs we put in. So essentially when the splash pad is in use, it's permitted that it has to go to the plant. So we have to clean the water because everyone's in the splash pad. When the splash pad turns off, this one will shut, this one will open, and then it can go out the swale in the back. We completed that and currently we're working with NIC for the automation end of it, because it will be automated to turn on and off with the splash pad itself. We jetted Berkshire, Farmington Avenue, Gordon Gate, Westgate. We assisted Highway in cleaning back and storm drains on Bridgehampton. Still working there quite a bit, so they shifted some manholes, so we had to clean them out. We cambered Diamond Glen and Hatters Lane for suspected water and sewer line cracks. There's nothing there, there's actually an abandoned lateral that's been replaced.
I've never found one, have they, all that water leaking?
Nothing. I think CT Water, they were doing a replacement there, but originally when they dug, they saw a T with a lateral coming in, and they thought it was cracked. But it was an old one that was abandoned, so.
Yeah, but that water always went by,
Yeah.
that's the lane and.
Yep.
Don't want it.
And actually that area we had lined, I wanna say probably like 7-8 years ago now, so there weren't that many roofs, which was good. Began clearing several right of ways, now that it's dried up a little bit. We're looking into other problem areas for the storm drains, American Rooter can clear for the preventative maintenance. And a new check valve was ordered for the Patrick Flood Pump Station. Repairs and maintenance at the plant. We began draining aeration 3, we actually finished it, I think it's farther down in the report. But took out any grit that was on the bottom, we patched 2 diffusers and did all the yearly maintenance on the mixers. So this is half of the empty tank, so when people ask how big the tanks are, if you look right outside, you see the pipes, this is one of those tanks, and these are 3 people in there. So we replaced any leaks in here, cleaned the diffusers off, and then we sucked out any grit or material that might be on the bottom of the tank, either mixers in the different anoxic and anaerobic zones. These hold about 800,000 gallons a piece, there's 3 of them, so an Olympic size pool is 1 million gallons, so there's almost 3 times as much in only these 3 tanks. And these basically hold the microbiology, and this provides air for them. We dropped one of these per year, so this was completed in June. We also added new conduit hangers on the side of aeration 3. We pulled filtrate pump 2. We're ordering a new pump, and we're not sure if it was just the type of pump we had, or if it was just kind of like a lemon, we've had some issues with it before, so we're just gonna do a full rebuild and order a new one. We changed oil on the Honda generator. HI Stone, who's our hauler, I guess they had a new driver, they were pulling out with the can and they hit the side of the garage door. So it kind of torqued the whole bracket. Their maintenance actually came and fixed it, so there's no damage anymore, but you couldn't open and close the door for a day or 2, so. June 12th, the crane truck was inspected, everything passed, and we ended up putting a new carburetor and tires on the golf cart. We flushed the whole pack season in anticipation if we need it during phosphorus season. We have not used it yet, but there's probably once or twice a year we use it. We took out all the unions, the valves, cleaned everything. June 24th, new hose and tires were installed in the back truck. And we had a duct alarm in the UV building, which is in the actual air duct system. And if it gets moisture in it or we get a thunderstorm, it typically blip and then we get called out. We were under by 34 pounds for the nitrogen in the month of June. And the flow meters were calibrated in May. I think we went over that last time, and that should be it for the report.
Again, a little bit of an overview, we're a 5-man, 5-person commission. And we oversee the operation of the plant and the sewer, the whole, complex. And, one of the big things that we do is set the budget every year, so that's part of our responsibility. We approve the budget. One thing on the side, I couldn't believe it, the last time I was driving out of the driveway, I happened to look at, glance over to the tank, and what did I see in there but a couple of mallard ducks. So if the water is clean enough for a duck to swim in it, I'm sure it's a pretty good process. And so Mark just finished with the monthly report. There was happening in this sewer system.
I think the only lateral report we had was just Knollwood Road, and they just had a repair on it, and that was it. That should be everything.
I don't know if you're prepared, Mark, if I get that, we talked about the unfinished business, and then
Yep.
put that in September.
Yeah, I wrote that in, so I can include that next month.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe go over some of the highlights there.
yeah, so I told Jim before the meeting started, the two major ones at this point are gonna be. We discussed it last month, the Yukon upgrade, and then the MDC pump stations and force main. That DCC is still working on, so we don't have a quote yet, so I didn't really include that. Yukon, the INC vendor and the. Actually, I take that back. The NIT systems who do our controls and the INC for the VFDs are both paid. So those are being built as we speak. We are going to go out to bid in September, so before the September meeting, we'll discuss that. We don't have an August meeting. For the bypass, the electrical contractor, and then any other site work that may be, construction. So we'll go out to bid for those three. And then we should be, the goal is to have UConn. I don't wanna jinx us, the goal is to have it done before the snow flies. So, should be fine enough, I anticipate probably 3 or 4 weeks once everything is on site, and then that should be about it, so. And that's it for now.
Okay. All right, as Mark mentioned, there's no meeting in August, but. Have any questions? So this, just to clarify, one of the things, this is a big chemistry equation and kind of one of the things that we show other students that have come to visit the plant is that a lot of the work that is done at the plant is actually done by above microorganisms. And there's, what's the name of those?
So we have, I mean, when you guys walk out, there's a bar chart on the wall you can look, but there's nitrosomus and nitrobacter bacteria that work for your nitrification and your denitrification, like Jim's saying, it's more like chemistry class really, or biology. So we take, the big thing we do here is we take ammonia in the water, like urea comes into the plant. We add oxygen, you convert it to nitrite, goes to nitrate, then you put it in an anoxic zone that has food and no air, and you turn it to nitrogen gas. So we're just changing it, and then it's going out in the river much cleaner.
So any other parting thoughts, Kevin, you can share with you, Kenny?
No, very well, when you drive by us to the high school, for the rest of July and, starting in September, you'll know what this building is now and, what your parents are paying taxes on, and supporting in the town of Farmington now every year when you, flush the toilet and turn on the sink and, run the water at your homes.
So while we're on that subject, Mark, what is the quarterly or monthly, what's the sewer rate for the residential unit?
It's yearly, right? It's
Yearly.
annual.
$365.
Yeah. Yep. So once a year you pay, and then we're probably. I'd say one of the lowest, we are one of the lowest in the areas. And we had a complete plant upgrade, some pump station upgrades, and we're still retaining one of the lowest rates around, so.
The rates did not increase this year.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so we're doing, it's an efficient job here.
As opposed to some of the other towns.
Yeah.
Bill, you have anything you would share with me, guys?
Well, let me ask you guys, guess how much the members are paid to serve on this commission? Take a guess.
Zero. It's zero.
Correct.
Correct.
We are not paid, we are volunteers. We live in town and we care about our community and want to make sure that it runs well. And Farmington probably has 300 volunteers who staff all of the various boards, commissions. Some are elected, some are appointed. And if it wasn't for people willing to step up and serve, town wouldn't operate. So as you get out of high school, go to college and come back to town, hopefully you will come back to town to live. Think about serving as a volunteer on one of the boards and commissions in town.
It's actually a 5-year term, but it. You know, a good contribution to town volunteering. You guys said that you're already volunteering for the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Bill? Right up for that, that's that. All right, thanks for coming, guys, do I hear a motion to adjourn? So.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried.